Latino, and Native American. When the Lord says that our kingdom is to come, as long as we follow the law, statutes, and commandments.
I got the camera bag, I'm the cameraman. If shit getting active, I'ma stand it down. We taking ground, call an ambulance. That shit go right, left, right, left. If shit go left, you best get right, or you'll get left. You got that right. That shit go. If you got a problem, we'll handle it. Niggas acting hard, you better stand on it. We on every corner, we stamping it. You better get your life for this camp shit. We ain't playing around, there's no cowards, dog. If niggas charged up, you get powered off. Rude of speech, keep it raw. It ain't my fault that you niggas soft. It ain't my fault that these niggas frauds. It ain't my fault that them niggas rats. If your colors fly, you don't get that shit go. Left, right, left, left. If shit go left, you best get right, or you'll get left. You got that right. That shit go left, right, left. If shit go left, you best get right, or you'll get left. You got that right. That shit go.
B-Raw, wanna go to war, gotta have it to the van. Tryna cut the semen, something you don't understand. Getting checked from my betterment, better take it like a man. Nigga, how you walk away for camp? If you willing to die, you better be willing to stand. Take a trip around the world, see a bunch of corners held by them UPK niggas. All them UPK niggas go to camp. And I'm on Shamar head hanging out the car window when I pull up straight to the battlefield. And I'ma make sure niggas make it back home. Say, nigga, what you thought? With anything moving, I be on. Gotta remind them we nothing like them niggas that you saw. If you hear back up, that'll be your last time to get out the way. The price to pay before.
That shit go left.
Nah, for real though.
Right. Left. If shit go left, you best get right, or you'll get left. You got that right. That shit go left.
Nah, for real though.
Right. Left. If shit go left, you best get right, or you'll get left. You got that.
How about some y'all shot right up? Move that song! Move that song! Move that song! The Father we fear! The Father we fear! Yahweh! Israel! 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 Shalom, Israel. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. And we have been teaching blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. We are the real Jews of the Bible. All right. Today is Wednesday's law class. Why for everybody for showing up. Also, if y'all want to speak the podcast, shout out to making that powerful video. I like that song. That's a pretty good video. All right. So today and yesterday, all throughout the news, we seen or heard that the great Reverend Jesse Jackson passed away. All right. On all the news outlets, we're honoring this man. All right. A lot of our family members are sad in the news that Jesse Jackson, the civil rights activist, someone who fought for blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, what they say, what they taught us, right, has passed away. On Sunday this week, church is going to be giving a moment of silence, right? He was a Christian. The Christian church is going to be in remembrance of this man, all right? It's the day Donald Trump honored this man. America has honored this man. You need to ask yourself, blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, if America honors the black, Hispanic, and First Nation people, is it All right, is it because they did what America wanted them to do, or is it because they really stood up for black people? When you look when you look at the world in America, you'll see that they don't honor Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people who stand up for their people. They honor the people who help them push their identity, their idea on us, right? A lot of people will say Jesse Jackson was a sellout because the ideology and the way he wanted us to live our lives in America as Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people was the way that the devils had set up. We're going to break down a lot of that today, all right? Because a lot of us who know about him might believe that they're confused, that I would say that he moved in the way that America wanted him to move, right? He chose to put America over his people. A lot of people become confused because in school we was taught that, Jesse Jackson was civil rights. He stood for black people. All right? Well, understand that. So today we're going to break down some of the things that he did and see that it aligned with the Bible. Understanding that he's a reverend, so that's Christianity. Right? And a lot of people believe that Christianity is for Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. And it's not. The same doctrine that Christianity preaches, right, is a doctrine that goes against the Bible. All right, and we're going to break it down today. Let me get Proverbs 14 and 12. So, all right, and this is a heavy scripture because a lot of times we look to our Black leaders and believe that what they are doing is going to lead us in the right direction. All right, lead us to God, lead us to a better life. But what you're not understanding is you're not following the law, statutes, and commandments the way God set it up. All that's going to fail. Everything is going to fail. And we are starting to see that in today's time that civil rights movement or agenda that they pushed on us, we've been left in a worse condition than we were before that. And we're going to show y'all today, right? You got Proverbs 14 and 12, please, sir?
Come. The book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man.
So tell us out. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man. All right, so a lot of times, a lot of us put an idea that what we believe is right. We tell ourselves what is right. Jesse Jackson thought that civil rights was right. Becoming equal with the oppressor was right. Eating at their restaurants and being accepted by their school systems, working for them was right. But that wasn't right for our people. Right? Continue reading.
But the end thereof are the ways of death.
Understand that Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, you can see that all throughout the day. All right? When you understand that segregation, integration slide. When you realize that integration had taken everything that Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people had of their own and is giving it to the oppressor. If you had a shot back in the day, right, that's your shot. But once integration happened, guess what? You got to go to them, to the same people who oppressed you, the same people who have destroyed you. You have to go to them in order for you to have your shot. All right? Understand that Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, what Jesse Jackson fought for was to make Blacks and Hispanics become docile and under our oppressor. All right? And we're going to break it down to you. Slide, check. Can you get the first page? Say essay, the civil rights movement. All right. This is what the civil rights wanted to do. When civil rights first came out, this is what they wanted to stand for. And they wanted to change. This is what they wanted to change here in America for Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. Can you read it, sir?
This is an essay entitled The Civil Rights Movement. The civil rights movement sought to win the American promise of liberty and equality during the 20th century.
So did they say God's promise
Nah.
To the American promise, right? When they decided that they wanted blacks to be equal, they were petitioning America's promise for us, right? Whatever America viewed as good for them, that's what we fought for. We fought for the idea to be able to sit into their establishment, right? Drink at their water fountains, like the stuff we had wasn't good enough. Today we understand that if a black woman and a devil woman walk in here, right now, and they have a cooking competition, a lot of y'all like sports betting, a lot of y'all gonna bet on that system. Because we already know. Right? When you understand that what that did was make us docile and become under our oppressor. And we look at it and we can see it today. Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, what do we have? Because everything we did have, our leaders who we choose to march and chose to follow behind led us to this stuff we're being right here, right now. They led us into this condition, right? Because we chose to follow them. And that's why we are destroyed. Because they told us to be like the oppressor, to follow the ways of the oppressor. And that goes against everything the scriptures say. All right? Understand that. The scripture says, there is the way which seemeth right unto man. They believed this was right, to act and be exactly like the oppressor. But all it did was lead us to death. Right? It's to the point where a lot of us growing up, the only way we thought we could be successful here in America is if I had a wicked jump shot, right? Watch me run fast. All right, we throw the ball far. That's the only way we thought we was gonna make it in America. But before civil rights, I mean, we could have our own shot. All right? I'm gonna show you a story of a town here in Baltimore, right? That was a black town. And with the civil rights movement, what happened to this black town, the civil rights movement wanted us to befriend those same people who did these atrocities to our people in this black town, right here in Baltimore. Right? Like, so you get that video?
Imagine.
And what you about to see is a town here in Baltimore that was predominantly black, right? And what happened was the oppressors decided that they wanted to build something in this town. And you about to see what they did to accomplish their goal.
In 1814, Baltimore County, Maryland, USA. Construction began on the town of Warren. The town was just 2 miles east of neighboring Cockeysville and 20 miles of around 900 residents by the 1920s. Life was simple for the people of Warren. Most of them worked in the local mills, producing silk, cotton, textiles, flour, and grains. The town only had a few buildings, those being the 3 churches, a post office, a public school, the mills, and around 100 homes. Even for the time, the town was incredibly small. Just a few miles away lies Loch Raven Dam. Connecting to the Gunpowder River, the dam was built.
All right, so as you can see, it was a town, small town. Dominantly, our people lived in this town, flourishing. All right, now the city officials, our oppressors, the city officials, these devils, decided that they wanted to create a dam. Now, knowing the history of our oppressors, all right, I think it's at 2 minutes here right there. All right, they decided that they wanted to create this dam. So it's only one way. When you deal with the oppressed, you gotta really understand that there's only one way that they can, you know what I mean? Only one way they move, and it's through violence. Right? It's through destruction. They can't just come to the table and just act or create a treaty. They break all their treaties. All right? the first thing they're gonna do, right, is try to unalive him. All right, and the video is gonna illustrate it. We can play it.
and waited until eventually in 1922 they were forcefully removed by the order of city officials. What ultimately happened was the head members of Warren Manufacturing Company struck a deal with Baltimore City, who purchased the rights to destroy and eventually
Back a little bit. Well, you see the picture of all of them. All right, so as you can see, there's no Black, Hispanic, and First Nation people in that photo. Oh, there's one. There's one. Slocky, my bad. But as you can see, predominantly, nothing but devils. Right? Now, it's a town full of nothing but Blacks and Hispanics. These devils decide, you know what? The best way to get these Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people
City, who purchased the rights to destroy. Warren Manufacturing Company struck a deal with Baltimore City, who purchased the rights to destroy and eventually flood Warren. See, Warren wasn't just a regular town. It was actually a company town owned by Warren Manufacturing, the company that ran the mill operations. Company towns themselves are a whole different controversial issue, but the idea behind them is that a private corporation owns not only the manufacturing facilities in a town, but also the homes and other buildings too. That meant that Warren Manufacturing Company could sell all the houses without the consent of their residents. Most, if not all, of the residents simply had to move on, accepting the fact that they would get no compensation whatsoever. Even amidst the unfortunate circumstances, though, the long period of buildup gave residents ample time to prepare. After the plans had been set, the town was destroyed, and by 1922 it was flooded, expanding Loch Raven Dam and turning the town of Warren into a reservoir. This alone increased the water supply from 1.5 to 20.
All right. So you gotta understand, and one thing he said in the video, right? This is what that was always do. He said, "Oh, they had ample time to get away from the town and flood." Why is your answer to building something is to flood it and unalive people, right? We got to understand that. And this happened in 1922. Like, sir, can you read that first page again? Essay, civil rights movement. When did the second sentence where it say from?
They say from the early struggles of the 1940s.
1940s, right? This happened in 1922. 20 years later, they started pushing civil rights, right? They wanted you, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, to hold hands and sing "We Shall Overcome" with the same people that just did this to you. All right? This is what they wanted to push on us, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. Let me get where is it? Cause my people to err. Let me get Isaiah 9:16.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 16. For the leaders of this people caused them to err
So error means to be mistaken, right? Or in error. So the leaders cause our people to be mistaken or in error, right? The civil rights movement caused our people to be in error. Why? Because it told us that we should be equal with everybody. It told us that we should be docile and love everybody. It told us that we should be nonviolent to the people who oppress us, right? It told us to not defend ourselves, right? And that goes against what the scriptures say, right?
It told you to trust our enemy too.
Right. Again, which is against the scriptures, right? Understand that. And for a lot of Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, you got to really understand this, that the Reverend Jesse Jackson was a Christian, right? And we believe that Christianity is supposed to lead us to God. Well, then everything we just equated with the civil rights movement, what it taught us, goes exactly against what God taught us, right? Let me get Deuteronomy 7:6. Because the civil rights movement told us we should hold hands with everybody and love everybody, right? Oh, wait, go. You can finish it.
And they that are led of them are destroyed.
And that's what happened. When we decided that we wanted to hold hands with these other nations, right, we became destroyed. Look at us now, right? We over here fighting for every other nation, but your brothers and sisters are being hunted in the streets, all right? And we don't even say nothing about it. Matter of fact, it's to the point where what we do say about it is, you know what? They shouldn't have been over here illegal. That's your brother and your sisters, man. All right? These devils who came over here illegally and unalived your brothers and sisters, man. But because we don't see ourselves as a people, Blacks and Hispanics and First Nation people, we decide that we should follow behind America's way of life. Like, we proud Americans. When you see, right, ICE hunting down your brothers and sisters, you're proud. Our people so proud to be Americans, right? Well, you know what? They should have had their papers, right? When did you see the devil's papers? Them same ICE agents that you see chasing them, did you see their papers? Right? But because you believe ICE stands for America, which they do, right? You so proud to be American because the civil rights movement made you decide that you should love your oppressor and love everything that they stand for instead of loving your people. Oh, you got something?
What you're saying is heavy, right? Because when you're taught to love your oppressor, that means you're taught to give them the benefit of doubt.
Right.
You're taught to say they have a good reason for doing what they're doing or being the way they are.
Right.
So the people they're doing it to, they must deserve it.
Right.
Even if it's your own people, you feel me? And that's the treachery and the backstabbing of the Christian church.
Right.
They teach us not only to love our oppressor, but they teach us to give our loyalty, we prefer them, and we give them the benefit of the doubt when we don't give each other the benefit of the doubt.
Right. And that's so heavy right there, what you brought out, sir. Because if you think about it, the Christian church harps so much on, man, they deserve, they break. When they talk about Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people committing crimes or black on black crime, they so heavy and they love to talk about that for hours. But let you mention what ICE is doing out here. Well, they should have been legal, right? Let you mention the school shootings. Well, you know, some white people just, you know, some of the devils, you know, it's just some of them. But you know what they'll say about our Black, Hispanic, and First Nation people youth? You know what they'll say? They'll say all of them, right, have a problem. That generation is messed up. But they won't say nothing about, you know what I'm saying, the oppressor. You know why? Because Christianity taught them that, right? They are so quick to forgive and love after our oppressor more than they are to do with anybody that's in their family. And you got to understand that is a self-hatred that's been taught to you, right, through generations and generations and generations, right? And then when our Black leaders teach that same doctrine, right, it's hard for us as Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people to break out of that conditioning. That's why our brothers and his head in the ISUPK to help you break yourself out of those conditions. Right? You gotta really understand that. You got Deuteronomy. You got something to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like in Baltimore, right? Like when you be talking to a lot of people, they always ask, like, you know, they always say,
I got tea. You see my tea?
they always say, like, why you always talking about the white man?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know enough about the oppressor. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? That's why we always talking about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Why?
like nobody knows about Warren Town. You know what I'm
Come.
saying? They know. Nobody knows about Warren Town. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They know about Miss Tony.
Right.
I mean, they know about how over East was in the 90s or the 80s or whatever, and how over West got all the money getters, and you know what I mean, and what happened to this and what
Right.
happened to Yo, and who's in the feds and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? The poverty they going down that the poverty that's happening to them right now, they know about that. But like, we had a black town.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Meaning we had black bosses, black corporations, we had black schools. You know what I'm saying? So when you wonder why your child is on this level, you know what I'm saying? Now, this is why we talk about academically, when you wonder why your child is on this level, it's because of this. We got to talk
Right.
about the oppressor. We got to talk about what the oppressor did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, he really destroyed, like, when you, when I was listening to you, sir, so, you know what I'm saying? So probably you saying, because, like, they want us to join them. Like, they don't want us to join them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They want us out.
Mhm.
But we had a town
Right.
that we could have been separate, that they destroyed. You know what I'm saying? And now they don't. It's like a love hate. It's like, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? It's like a delusional, a crazy baby mama, an evil baby mama. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, you back and forth. It's womanly. You know what I'm saying? Actually, it's feminine.
Right.
For you to want something, don't want it, want this, don't want it. I mean, you can't follow a nation like that.
Right.
I mean, that was all.
That's powerful what you bringing out. See, the problem is though, we gotta understand as Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, they are enemies, right? So they never have our they don't never want to do something good for us, right? They are enemies. So as us, we need to stop thinking that like, oh well, maybe if we do it this way, they'll love us. Maybe if we do it that way, they'll love us. It never will happen. That's a dream. Go ahead.
No, like, we the only ones thinking like that,
Right.
in the relationship.
Right.
We only thinking about how we both can benefit. They are only thinking about themselves.
Right.
That's if you went out on the street and you took that down to a smaller level and asked your brother, your girl was thinking this way, you're thinking this way, or ask a woman, your husband is thinking this way, thinking this way. Is the relationship going? No.
Right. You
That was-
goofy.
it's
Right.
like, why are you even asking me this question?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's how it is with the oppressor and black people. And they so lazy
Right.
because they built some of the greatest dams, right? They could have went around it.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? They lazy. They wanted to go through the town. It could have made more money for white corporations in America to build something around it. It took more work. You need more manpower. You know what I'm saying? And you could have, and it could have just let these black people stay over here. We build our water system for us while we're making more jobs for us and more money for us. But instead, you know, they want to displace the people into them, to where, into the hood, into their city, into their part, and, you know, do it the quick way, right through the town.
See,
Less money.
and that's heavy what you bringing out, right? But I want to say this, right? You ever, back when we was in the world, and I couldn't stand bullies, right? But when you look at a situation with a bully, right? America, you're right. They could have went around and built a dam somewhere else, but they don't like Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. So when they hit, oh, I got any reason to unalive them, right? We need to understand that. It's the same thing when a bully, right? He don't gotta go mess with that dude, but you know what he gonna do? Just cause he know yo ain't gonna fight back. And then when we got leaders talking about we shall overcome, getting smacked, getting dogs sicked on them, getting hit with hoses, getting spit on. They like, yo, we can do whatever to them. And then they gonna go to church, and the pastor gonna tell them, love everybody. There's gonna be one that's gonna love you. I remember when came into the truth and I started talking about talking about a lot of the things that was going through down in slavery. And remember somebody was like, well, you know what? We wouldn't be free if it wasn't for the oppressors. Because they was on the what's Underground Railroad too. Say, and now we thought in my head, that's like, you know, when somebody kidnapped you, and then the one person brings you water, and then you like, well, you know what? They did bring you some water, bro. I wouldn't have needed your water. You never kidnapped me. Understand that, Black Hispanics and First Nations. We giving people praise, right, for stuff when I shouldn't even be in this predicament. Right?
It's like, well, we don't understand because, like I said, we've been taught to love and give them the benefit of doubt.
Come.
We don't realize that one that seems like they cool, that's helping us, that's not like the rest of them, he's really a traitor to his own people.
Right.
So if he's a traitor to his people, what do you think he's eventually going to do to you?
Same thing.
But more and worse.
Come.
Like when Corral was saying, like, you know, they lost money, they actually made money. Because if you got a black city and they're functioning on their own, if you take all their resources and destroy their city, now them people are forced to depend on you.
Right.
They got to come to you for everything.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what they know. They conquer your cities, they take everything of ours. And next thing you know, we're dependent on them for everything.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So they start making money hand over fist. You feel?
Right.
That's good.
No, I was gonna say, you wonder why there is a hood. That's why a hood.
That's right.
Right.
The Warren town was destroyed, and all those people who worked at a factory, who worked at that school, who did construction in that town, who did farming in that town, their homes was taken, and then they got displaced to another area where they got to find another job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where they're not making the same amount of money as they're making. That kids are not getting the same education now. Now the kids is boarding class.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You get kid on the 7th grade level, but she in the 4th grade. Now she's bored.
Right.
Now she doing other stuff because they're on enough. It's that they made poverty, man, and they made the dysfunction.
Come.
That's why we talk about the oppressor. That's why you need to understand things that the oppressor does. It's like you boy.
That's powerful what you're bringing out. So, you know, if you're watching the class, you're like, so you think it would have been better if we were separate? It's not about what I think. It's about what the Most High think. What the Most High said. All right, you got Deuteronomy 7:6 for me, sir.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art a holy people.
But thou art a holy people. That's one thing Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people got to understand. When we speak, all right, we speaking from what the scriptures is telling us to do. And these reverends, these false leaders, these civil rights activists, right? These Muslim Mars, like all these people we are following behind, if they not on the ISUPK and teaching you what God said do, right, you are going to be destroyed because they're teaching you to love everybody. God said, for thou art a holy people. Holy means separate. Yes, Blacks, Hispanic, and First Nation people, we were supposed to be separate. So anybody who taught us to not be separate, they going against God. And this is why you see after the civil rights movement and other things that has happened to us as a people, we're in the condition we in now. Because we decided to follow behind the ideology of a man, right, that went against God. Understand that, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. Continue reading.
Vamos, God.
But
Unto the Lord thy God.
not only you're supposed to be separate unto God Himself. All right. Understand that all the ripping and running and hooping and hollering and marching and non-violence and all the protests, right? And all the praying you doing, right? If you choosing to love your oppressor and be with them, you are going against God. All that stuff you doing, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, that we be doing to get close to God, if we not listening to what He say do, we not getting close to God. Right? If we not choosing to be separate and stick to Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, these 12 tribes right here, all right? Understand that. This is a lot of people, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. This is a whole lot of people. The 12 tribes is a lot of people. You don't need those other nations. Right? You don't need them. Understand that. Love yourself. And I know it's hard because we've been taught to love them more than ourselves. We've been taught that their schools was better. But look at us now, like the officer brought out earlier. Look at us in schools now. All the older generations sit and tell you that the kids don't know nothing now. Right? They don't know anything. Why? Because we decided to learn from their curriculum. They're the ones teaching us about history. They're the ones teaching us about science, right? They're the ones teaching us about meaningless, meaningless events going on in this world. That's what they're doing. They're the ones who taught us about these religions and these doctrines, right? They're the ones who taught us that it's okay for the alternate lifestyle. They the ones who taught us those things. And look at our people now. All right. And I know a lot of people find it hard to believe, like, why are we hard on our leaders? Because a lot of our people wouldn't have been here if they didn't follow behind these wicked leaders. All right. Understand that, Blacks and Hispanics and First Nation people. You need to hold fire to the people you following behind. You need to actually sit. And if it goes against the Most High, you cannot be following that man. You cannot be following that. That's why we say ISUPK is not affiliated with no other Israelite group, and this is the home of the truth. All right, because whatever the scriptures say, we do. All right.
It's like what you're saying is so heavy because here's the thing. You know, this whole idea of unity and us all being one is so evil.
Right.
In the sense that how can you look at everybody the same when on one hand you got a SA offender,
right,
a pedophile,
right?
How can you look and treat him the same as his victim?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, how can you treat the oppressor and the people he oppressed the same?
Right.
Without showing you can't show compassion to the victim if you treating the oppressor, the person that hurt them, the same way. You see what I'm saying? Like, that don't even make sense.
Right.
You know, because if you go and do something to somebody, at the very least, there's a penalty or there's a punishment that's associated with your crime. There's been no penalty. There's been no punishment associated with anything. But we're taught by our leaders that we got to go out there and be one with these people, right. Unify with them people, trust them people. You feel me? And this is why our children are being hurt. And we starting to, you know, it's coming out now. Our children have been hurt and stuff like that. And you got that Epstein list.
Right.
Like Commander General Han and General Mahima said it. That's why they holding them files so long. They holding them files so long because the entire country would shut down.
Right.
Overnight if they brought out that full list of who was on that list.
A white lady said that. Somebody in the office said it. She got asked
she said
the
that
question. When we gonna start, like, are we gonna start persecuting, you know, holding the people that's in there accountable? She said the system will fall.
She said,
I mean, everybody. So like, if I may,
go ahead.
I'm at work. The sister say, she reading, we sitting down, we take breaks in between work. So the girl, she worked with a bunch of dudes. She the only one. She like, man, she talking about, she reading the file. She say, they say Michelle Obama in there. She said, I don't know. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. So I tell her that. I tell her what we just said, what the white lady said. So I said, yo, if they saying that the system will fall, if they put everybody out, I say, I think Michelle Obama was probably in there. You understand? She like, nah. And I'm like, yo, I want to ask her, but me and her already, when we talk about that, it get heated or whatever, right? And she cool. And I'm thinking in my mind, like, why do black people just automatically think that if a black person has a suit and a tie or a polka dot dress on, you know what I'm saying, with a perm in her hand,
right,
and she's saying that she's Congress or she works for the government, that they are perfect. You know what I'm saying? When we got endless evidence of them stealing all your money.
Right.
Good. You know what I'm saying? Stealing all your money, like the drug dealer can't get better. Like you gotta hold her to the fire though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But she can steal your money, but she's still a good person.
Come on. I got because they are the image of our oppressor with just our face on them. They do the same thing our oppressor do, and our people been conditioned to love our oppressor so much that snap, we get a person that acts just like the oppressor, but just got our complexion. We gonna love them. We gonna love them. If they in Congress doing the same thing the oppressor do, we gonna love them no matter what they do, because they are oppressor, and what we've been taught is to love everything the oppressor do. Yeah, and that's just what it is, right? A lot of us need to really understand that Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, that we gotta get away from our oppressor and become separate. Choosing their way of life is destroying us. All right. Listen, your favorite rapper, Jay-Z, he in them Epstein files. All right. Pusha T, he in them Epstein files. Seen Jamie Foxx up in there. The officer just alluded to Michelle Obama. Listen, they all in there. All your celebrities, you know where they learned that way of lifestyle? Know where they learned that? Learned it from our oppressors. And you know what's crazy? Before civil rights, the oppressors just did that. Civil rights happened. Now we can bring some of y'all to the party. And now people accepted it. You know why? Because they wanted to be just like the oppressor. You know what I'm saying?
No, I was going to say, I just wanted to say, when you think about it, right? It would be more likely for a poor person to steal money and do evil to gain money and to get over because they poor. But rich people do it. It's no reason for them to do it. Because they're already in a position where they are, they're not hurt by, you know what I mean, the want of things, having less. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I work for Congress. I can make decisions. You know what I'm saying? I brush shoulders with other people where I can say, listen, you work in the school department. I feel like this about the school department. We could try to make some changes. But a poor person can't. They're in poverty. They can't get the things they need, so they got to take a risk. People who are in the government and Congress and the cabinet and all that, they shouldn't be taking those risks of crime and all that stuff because they have it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's like, that's the thing that has been taught to us, that we believe the poor going to do more. We do more wickedness than the rich.
Right.
That's something that's been taught to us. Like, a lot of times for them to get rich, they did evil things to get rich. Right. And the poor person, a lot of poor people had, morals and stuff like that. But they'd tell you that the poor people is the ones doing all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, like, man, listen, we gotta stop following behind them. Go ahead.
God, if I could, and what both of y'all are saying is heavy, because here's the thing: the rich people that we look up to, that we emulate, they lack integrity.
Right.
You understand? They lack a moral compass. You see what I'm saying? Meaning, like, when people talk about selling your soul, that means that you're willing to compromise your morals. You know, you're willing to do harm to somebody for your own personal gain because you're following the ways of this oppressor. You got to remember, our oppressor is like a beast. You understand? He has no integrity. He sold his entire birthright for a bowl of soup.
Right.
You understand? Because he didn't want to. He didn't want to feel any sort of pain. You see what I'm saying? He's animalistic in that sense because he wants what he wants right now. And when we start acting like them and we start taking on that spirit, you feel me? That's when we lose all our moral compass and stuff like that. And that's when we lose integrity. You feel me? And that's why you see a lot of that happening. You feel me? With the rich.
Slightly corrupted. All right. So yes, we supposed to have been separate. Slightly, sir. Can you go to how desegregation integration hurt Black community? All right. So this was a study that was done just last year, January of last year, on the effects of integration and how it actually hurt our community. All right. You can start reading.
How Desegregation and Integration Hurt the Black Community by Black Karma. The fight for Black American civil rights is a cornerstone of U.S. history. It is defined by courage, sacrifice, and relentless pursuit of justice.
Start right there. It is defined by courage, right, sacrifice, and relentless pursuit of justice. What justice was we searching for? The justice we wanted, we fought for, was for the justice we searched for. Fly here. Correct. The justice we searched for was to be equal like them, the American way.
Right.
That's the justice we searched for. We didn't search for, oh, if you harm me, right? Can you face judgment? We didn't fight for that. We fought for, hey, can I vote too? Hey, can I walk down the street too? Like, that's the stuff we fought for. We ain't fight for justice. So when it says justice, we wasn't fighting for justice. We wasn't fighting for he who leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. We was fighting to just be equal with them. All right. Continue reading.
Yet, examining the results of desegregation and integration reveals a flaw.
A flaw. It's a flaw. All right. And you know what's crazy? Even the generations. So I got people in my family born in the 50s who've been around through the civil rights movement. Even they say, man, listen, it was way better before that. All right. Because a lot of us are starting to realize that. All right. But you know it's crazy. ISUBK been teaching this since 1969.
Right.
Right. Continue reading.
With aim to unite and empower may have weakened the Black community in unexpected ways. Desegregation aimed to end racial injustices, but its long-term effects raised doubts. Was the price, economic, social, and cultural too high?
Look at that. All right. And we've been alluding to this, right, since 1969, that when we decided to integrate, economically, we lost everything. We lost our business.
Right.
Right. We don't own anything anymore, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. Socially, right, we not the same as a people. Right. The things that, and culturally, we lost our culture. Right. We not wholesome anymore. Look at our women. You know how our women act like? The oppressor women. Right? The oppressor civilizations had brothels, right? And whorehouses, right? But they're teaching our sisters, right, to live like that. Right? They done changed. They changed that one song, man. Listen, the way the society is when it comes to our sisters and how they are moving, the oppressor is pushing this agenda constantly. Listen to the rap music. The sisters that's on top of the rap game, they can't even really rap. It's the stuff that they talk about, right? The oppressor is paying our sisters to talk about this. Why? because our sisters going to become more and more like them. This is how they live. When it comes to the alternate lifestyle, this is something they practice. This was not, matter of fact, it wasn't even a practice. The oppressors didn't practice. This was their way of life, right? And what happened was they continued, right? Now they teach it. They try to make that our culture, a part of us. That's why when you just saw, did you see, I think one of the brothers in the other school had a video of the one guy accepting the award. I think it was for, was it the Grammys that just came down? I think it was the Grammys. One of them shows that just had, and he just got an award. And it's like they praising the fact that he in the alternate lifestyle. All right, this is the oppressor's way of life. And what has happened is we are at the forefront of his way of life. And me, right? But that's what we lost. We lost our culture, choosing to be like them. Continue reading. Can you go to the decline of the black dollar?
Yeah. The decline of the black dollar. Before desegregation, black communities thrived. They were resilient and innovative despite systematic oppression.
So check this out, right? Today in America, you hear that word a lot. Systemic oppression, right? Systemic oppression. And a lot of our people say, man, we can't make it, right? It's hard because it's systemic oppression, right? Before desegregation, black communities thrived. They were resilient and innovative despite systematic oppression. See, when you hear the brothers in the school say brotherhood is a weapon, those communities that was all black, they was together. So no matter what the devil did, right, they was overcome that. Why? Because you got your brothers, you got your sisters, y'all together. But right now, we see each other as enemies. Right? A devil can run through one of the most rigid hoods in the city, but a black man can't run through there. If a black man run through there, everybody looking at why he running.
Right.
What did he do? Oh, is he running at me? Meanwhile, the devil can just jog through, have a happy day. Matter of fact, while they walking through, some of those people are gonna say hi to them. We're at a point where when another black man or Hispanic man or First Nation person say something to us, we like, yo, what you want? Why you asking me questions? Why you saying hi to me? You don't know me. Meanwhile, a devil, when you see something to the devil, right, you answering them properly. You know why? Because that has been conditioning through generations, through slavery, through generations in civil rights, to the point where as though we see them as better than ourselves. Right. And that's all because we decided to do the civil rights movement. That was one of the pillars. That was one of the rays, right, that helped us see them as being better than us. All right, continue reading.
They say black-owned businesses flourish, providing goods, services, and employment within the community.
Think about that, right? How many of us know brothers, right, that can't keep a job, can't have a job, right? During this period of time, right, we was able to provide employment for those brothers and sisters, man. Think about that. All right, think about being able to wake up in the morning and know your father owns a shop. And he gonna pass it down to you. You growing up in generations, because that's what the devils do. Pass down shops, on pawn shops, right? In establishments and businesses, right? They wanted us, blacks and Hispanics and First Nation people, they wanted us to be mad at LeBron James for using his nepotism. That's what you're supposed to do. Right? But because a lot of us don't have nothing here in America, we see that as, oh, that's you can't do that. Bron, you can't do that. He can't hoop. I don't care if my son can never hoop. He going to the league. If I'm LeBron James, he in the league. Believe that.
Hey, so like the point you're making is heavy because here's the thing. You know, no, this oppressor, he's been doing that
Right.
since its inception. When they created them unions and stuff like that, they don't call it nepotism. They call it being grandfathered in.
Right.
When their kids and grandkids ain't gotta go through, they ain't gotta go through the same steps like everybody else. They can just go on the fact that your grandfather was in here, so you can come on in here too.
Come.
And it has never been a problem.
Right.
Until you see a black person doing a black man doing it with his sons.
Right. And that's heavy.
Heavy.
That's heavy. No, live as we watch sports, how many generations of coaches keep coming through the ranks? Like, bro, I don't even where he come from? He the head coach of the job. We see it all throughout America. Businesses, establishments, all that. Right. But during this period of time when we had our own, we could pass that down to our brothers and sisters, right? Our children, right? But we decided to give it away because we decided to follow behind these leaders that caused us to err. Let me get this is a heavy point right here. Can you scroll down to the fracturing of the black family?
The fracturing of the black family. Another unintended consequence of that desegregation is the disintegration of the black family structure.
There you go.
The pre-integration era had many challenges, but it built strong bonds in the community. They relied on each other.
There you go right there. Right? Understand that. When you decided to use the oppressor as the head of your household, the household structure became destroyed. And that goes against what God said. Right? God said the man is above the woman, and the woman is above the children. And God is above the man, right? I mean, Christ is above the man, and then God, right? So understand that. But when you decided to put the oppressor above you, right, in his way of life, because he said you don't need a man, sisters. That's what he told you. And then he said, you know what? If you kick that man out, I'll make your rent $20. You know what I'm saying? I'll set you up in a nice house. You feel me? Matter of fact, I can get you some food too.
Right.
All right. Oh, I can do all that for you. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say there's an interview. Did you see it, sir? It's a black guy. He known for playing a lot of gangsters. There's a big thing down that he leaned on somebody in the interview. Forget his name. Right?
Dark skin guy.
Yeah, dark.
I know you're talking about.
What movies he played in?
Older.
He older.
Yeah, he's older.
He older.
Clifton
Powell.
Is it Clifton Powell? Yeah, it's Clifton Powell. It's Clifton Powell.
Powell?
It is.
Okay.
I think it is
Go
Clifton
ahead.
Powell.
Okay, yeah, that's
Right? And you know he's from the hood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what you was saying about kicking a black man out, man, in the interview, you know, that whole round table conversation was about trusting the black woman. That was the topic. Trust, when we should start trusting black women or why we don't trust black women or something. And they was talking about exactly what you talking about. They was talking about, like, you know, they was just skipping over the fact that somebody is coercing
Right.
the black woman to eliminate the man.
Right.
And they kept saying, like, men are leaving.
Right.
Like, men leaving the homes and they need to stop and stay. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm talking to my coworkers, right? A lot of them younger than me. I think only like two of them my age, the girl and another dude. And I'm like, I don't remember my friend's dad's leaving the house.
Right.
That's just me. I'm like, yo, I'm in that generation. I never remember. I mean, I've heard the saying, yo, he went to go get some milk and never came back. I've never actually seen that, not with none of my friends. Yeah. Even when my friends' dad did drugs, sold drugs, gang bang, I knew that they was their dad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They was coming up to the school joking. I've never seen that. Now, I've seen dads get locked up, unalive. You know what I'm saying? Not in the household or even that. Like, you know, like I've heard that, like, you'll get these benefits if you're not in the home.
God.
And it was, and you know, Clifton Powell, he came out when because he was talking to an LGBTQ guy, was making that point, and he came out, he was like, yo, ain't nobody leaving no homes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking like, bro, we don't even have the money.
Right. Come.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
God.
I was just that part, man, because that joint hit me heavy yesterday, because it's like, in the day, like this lie that like men leave homes, like y'all skipping the fact that somebody tell you they will give you money,
Right.
like they will give you cash money,
Right.
food stamps, daycare for your children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? All of this, if it's a man not in there.
Right.
And it's such an empowering to the woman to be
Right.
like, yeah, I can do. I don't need you to do this.
Right.
But nobody talks about, like, that's the point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even when I talk to my mom and my grandpa, I don't never hear stories about a man leaving the home. I hear stories about my grandpa having another family.
Having another.
Right.
But he had two though. He was handling two. He didn't leave nothing.
Yeah.
Yo, was, you know what I mean, 12, 13 kids. You know what I mean? So, yo, it's just like, man, we got that. You know, when you said it, maybe speak on it, because I feel like, yo, that joint need to be attacked for real. Like,
Come.
that's a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. Go ahead, sir.
It's like, and this goes to your point, as far as the black leadership, your Jesse Jacksons and all of them. They made us buy into this philosophy,
Right.
of the so-called, or the so-called white man and this oppressor. You see what I'm saying? And if I could, I'm gonna pull a precept, Mark 3:27, and say, no man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. That's how our houses get spoiled,
Right.
because this oppressor then came in and bound up our brothers. You feel me?
Right.
That's why so many brothers in prison, bound up. You see what I'm saying? That's why our houses and homes have been destroyed.
So
So
that's heavy right there. You know what I'm saying? Is when we decided to trust the oppressor, everything they do out here is literally attack on us. And when the scriptures say like never trust our enemy, I really want blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people to really understand this. The devils, right? Because we decided to follow behind civil rights.
yeah, sure.
I want you to really understand this. Imagine your neighbor, right? Imagine these devils is your neighbor. And every single day when you walk outside, y'all give each other highs. Y'all say hi, hey neighbor, good day, neighbor, right? And then one day you just happen to walk past his house and you see his door cracked open. And you like, man, something must be going on. You walk in there. And what you see is he's mapped out a way to destroy you in every possible way. They are your enemy, blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. Nothing else. They're your enemy. They ain't your friends. They ain't your homeboys. They not your people you've been with through the sandbox. They are your enemy, and they are currently destroying you. Right? All these fronts that they putting on, like, oh, we want to help our people. In the writing, like the 13th Amendment, right? We thought, oh, the 13th Amendment, they can't own slaves. But you didn't know, like, farther down in that writing, it said, guess what? Unless you are incarcerated, only time they can treat you like a slave basically when you're incarcerated. And what did they do after that? They started incarcerating our brothers and sisters, right? Understand that. These are just tactics that they continuously do. This is crafty counsel that they continuously do to destroy us. All right. So when our leaders tell us that we should hold hands and love them and forgive them and see the good in them, but not see the good in our brothers and sisters, understand they are causing us to err. All right. And the scriptures is telling us we should not do those type of things. Continue reading.
The post-integration era saw a rise in black divorce rates and a decline in marriage rates.
You see that? Right? That's because we became empowered. Right? What a lot of us don't really understand is the oppressor had a problem with his woman.
Right.
Blacks and Hispanic women, they was good. Listen, we was in the same condition. right? We was together struggling, right? Making it through. All the things that you see, the feminism wave, listen, I want us to really understand as Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. There is one group of people here in America that didn't work for about almost probably 400 years, right? And that is the devil's wife, right? During slavery, she ain't had no job. Our sisters was working, right? So she decided that once we got past, she decided she wanted to start working. She wasn't qualified or nothing. She ain't working like 400 years. Who raised the babies? Our sisters. Who fed the families? Our sisters. Right? Who did everything? Our sisters. Right? They did nothing. So they started the feminism wave. Right? Because they couldn't do anything. And you know what they had to do in order to create the feminism wave? They had to grab our sisters and be like, guess what, sister? That man ain't doing it right by you neither. When we've been working, when our sisters is in there working, guess where we at? We in the fields working. Right? We was hand in hand together, but we fell for that lie because we was taught to find something good in them. They got some type of good in them. That's what our leaders taught us. That they all not bad. The Klan might be bad, but this lady right here protesting, she's looking out for us. And the whole time she wasn't looking out for us. She was destroying us.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She was destroying us. And now look at us now. You all you gotta do is hop on the internet. I'll sit like we're the only race with this weird is a thing called gender wars. Like we got brothers arguing with our sisters on the internet, and sisters arguing with our brothers about relationships or whatever. How did that? We're the only race who do that. And how did that happen? Is because we allowed the oppressor's way of life to infiltrate our houses and destroy us. All right.
So I got you one thing too.
Go ahead.
When we watching that round table again, right? When you say that we arguing, the title, I was even thinking about the title. The title is How to Trust, something about starting to trust Black women again.
Right. Right.
Where you get this from?
Right.
Where your evidence that Black men don't Black women? You are an instigator.
Right. That's all it is.
This whole title is just, you just made this up. It's like we started a conversation with Black men like, no, we need to start working jobs.
Yeah.
What am I getting this? I'm just making this up. And they sitting here having a conversation about something that don't even exist.
Right.
But so like if I could, like you said, this was put on by the LG.
Well, he was one of the dudes in the circle.
Right.
Speaking, it wasn't made by him.
No, it wasn't made by him. But
Right.
what I'm saying is that topic or that whole table topic. When the LGBT is in there, you feel me? Like you gotta realize, Black women think that alternative life men are their best friends.
Calm down.
They think that they so cool. They like to hang out with him and all that. They don't realize that he hates her.
Right.
He wants to be her, and he's jealous that he cannot be her.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it makes sense that it comes up all the time that we don't trust no Black woman. Like, look at her. She ain't better than me. That's how and that's what they push it out. But they push it like Black men think that way.
Right.
No, that's how y'all feel.
Right.
Y'all hate them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what people are missing. That alphabet community, they hate Black women.
Right.
That's why if you never notice, all of their antics, the way they talk, they try to emulate a Black woman. When they talk, the way they walk, they exaggerate a Black woman's song, like her style. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You'll never see them doing nothing that an Asian would do.
Right.
Everything is about that black woman.
That's
It's because
foul.
they hate them.
Right.
That's why those topics keep coming up. You feel me? So like you go.
So, but you know what's heavy about that is, even in that, with our black women believing they're an ally, our black women know that they need an ally, but the one that they need, society done told them to hate that man.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because in they makeup, they need that man. So they like, well, maybe not the black man, the real black man. Well, let's go to the alternate lifestyle black man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Anything, right? But they need to understand, like you brought out, sir, that he hates you because he wants to be you. All right. The whole time y'all there laughing, and deep inside his mind, he can't stand you.
Right.
Continue reading.
They say economic instability, inequalities, and subtle racism caused this trend. Welfare policies from this period, though unintended, harmed marriage.
There go right. Like it, my bad, sir. There go right there. Like the officer brought out. Listen, you gotta understand the life of Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people in this country. We are oppressed people. Listen, our father's going to that factory, coming home. He might not have enough money to make sure we get everything we needed, right? But our sisters stayed with us no matter what, because we had to get it. We had to do what we had to do. Then welfare show up like, yo, check this out. I can make your life a way easier. Way easier. And you know what our sisters chose? They chose to make that ally the white man system. Listen, I used to do security over there at the child support office. Listen, it got to the point where you realize, like, child support, some women, some of our sisters, because of the system that they've been taught to do, will literally, as soon as they had a child, they're gonna put you on child support so they know they can always get paid. Yeah. Like is like, and what's crazy about it is they literally removed the man out of our women's lives, because you got, by them doing it, and mind you, of generation plus generation, you can pass down your Section 8, right? So your mom got it, then her daughter got it, then the next generation get it, right? And the whole time they don't need a man. The whole time they preaching to you, you don't need a man. Look, we got everything. We don't need a man. And what's happening is condensed. The same way when we view our oppressor, like we love them because we've been conditioned to love them, is now the same way it's coming with us when it deals with black women and black men. We are starting to get conditioned to not like each other, right? And that's all crafty counsel of the oppressor. Right, we got to get off this stuff. We got to really understand, if he's giving you anything, right, it's to destroy you. When our native brothers and sisters thought them blankets was going to help them, right, what did it do? It destroyed them. When the Tuskegee Airmen thought that they was going to get help for the diseases they had, and the white man said he was going to help them, what he do? He unalived them, right? Every time you take a handout from him, it's so it can destroy you. Understand it. Look at how many of our babies been destroyed, right? Because we believe that, Margaret Sanger, she's out to help our community, right? And the whole time she's here to destroy your community. Listen, Blacks and Hispanics and First Nation people, they are not here to help you, right? Don't take no handout from them. Because in the long run, his foot is going to destroy you. So yeah, come on. All right. Let me get Psalms 83. All right, and it's gonna illustrate, right? This right here is gonna illustrate what the oppressors was doing. Go down. Psalm
chapter 83. Psalms chapter 83, verse 2. Below thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
So a tumult is basically a big, large gathering of noise, right? So understand this. Thine enemies make a tumult. They making a big, giant commotion. You ever seen like Wolf of Wall Street? And you know, in the movies, when you see them, they in the stock room, and you could just see how much chaos and noise they just doing, right? Because everybody's they in a frantic. That's what's going on right here. Our enemies are in a panic. They making the loud noise. They screaming over each other. Right? It's reckless. Continue reading.
Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel.
This is crafty counsel. Right? All these things we illustrating to you, civil rights movement. That's crafty counsel. That's crafty counsel. Because what you gotta really understand is we just seen a city that was flooded 20 years before. They didn't care about the people in that town, the black people in that town, right? But you mean to tell me these same devils cared about us walking down the street, right? And then what you're not really understanding is that whole nonviolence. We got that from we didn't get that from the scriptures. Martin Luther King got that from his name Gandhi. Was that his name? No. Yeah, he got that from Gandhi. He didn't get that from the scriptures. And it's crazy. And this is the thing that Christians really got to understand is, you know, these same people, all our black leaders, reverend, they all reverends, right? Supposedly of the Bible, right? They believe in the Bible, but every tactic they use to so-called help black people, it came from an oppressor or some devil. Gandhi, what was he? Indian or something? African?
Chinese.
He was a daggone heathen. Huh?
He's in there.
Oh, right. You know what I'm saying? He was a heathen. He had nothing to do with our culture and our people. We take practices and tactics from everybody else except the tactics that the Most High set forth for us to do. And the tactic he told us to do is keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, right? And if we do them, all these other nations that try to come up against us, they're going to be destroyed. That's what Jesse Jackson should have been telling our people, right? Don't care about marching down the street and try and vote and be a part of America. Follow God's laws. Right. And God is going to destroy them. Right? Us trying to get into they political back, that ain't going to help nothing. Us sitting in they oh yeah, come on, go ahead. Slide, my bad. Go ahead. Can you continue reading, sir?
And consulted against our hidden ones. Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel will be no more remembrance.
So check this out, right? It says Israel will be no more in remembrance. That's what our enemies wanted to make sure happened. That's one of the things they, besides the crafty counsel, another thing they wanted to do was make sure Israel will no more be in remembrance. Now, Israel is our name. That's who we are. That's our nation. That's who we come from. So why did Jesse Jackson didn't want us to remember that? This is what he told us we should be.
This is one of the quotes from Reverend Jesse Jackson. First of all, they say the Reverend Jesse Jackson, who died on Tuesday at age 84, helped push for widespread usage of the term African American as a way to reclaim cultural identity.
Hold on. We're Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. The reason when we go out there in these corners and people seem confused that we Israel, you know how many times when I wear the shield and I'm out, I'm even getting questions like, yo, is you a GD? And then I'm like, nah, I'm an Israelite. And they like, what's that?
Right.
You know why they say, what's that? Because us growing up, what did we call ourselves? We called ourselves African Americans. This man right here, our civil rights leader who we chose to follow behind, he pushed that we should be called African Americans. He didn't go because when is a date that that this was coined. See if I find the date that this was coined. Remember, the ISUPK was out here in 1969.
In the 80s, late 80s.
Then this term was coined in the late 80s. So the brothers in ISUPK was out there teaching that we are the 12 tribes of Israel, right? But our leader we decided to follow behind told us that we should be African Americans. And to this day, right, a lot of us don't know we Israel because we believe we African Americans, right? Understand that. And guess who? And that's why I wanted to read Psalms 83 before that, because it said they will make sure that Israel will be no more in remembrance, right? Our name, our identity is literally a nation out here running around here with our identity, right? There's a nation out here running around with our identity. And then when the brothers, the ISUPK tell you, no, you are Israel, right, you seem confused.
Right.
Because because we decided as a people to follow behind Jesse Jackson's way of life. Go ahead. You can finish reading it. Let him finish reading. I got
They say to be called African Americans. This is a comment made by Jesse Jackson himself. To be called African Americans has cultural integrity. It puts us in our proper historical context, Jackson said at the time. Every ethnic group in this country has a reference to some base, some historical, cultural base.
So tell us, he said it puts us in our, he said it gives us what? Cultural integrity? Identity?
Cultural integrity.
Cultural integrity. What culture is African American? First off, let's start with African, right? I'm not African. We're not African.
Right.
So why are we calling ourselves African? American? I'm gonna tell you, we was brought over here on slave ships. That's in Deuteronomy 28, 68. Right? That's what we was brought in over slave ships. So
Yeah.
why we saying we them? You know why we saying we them? It's because our oppressors wanted to make sure that the name of Israel would never be in remembrance. Go ahead.
It's like, and this shows you how evil Jesse Jackson was and what he did, man.
Right.
And what he was doing. We just read it in scripture where it say crafty counsel.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We got to realize that our black leaders was at that same table. Crafty counsel. They knew the plan of this oppressor,
right,
to destroy our people. And yet and still he comes out and tells us we're African American.
Right.
And we'll never understand that we're Israelites. We'll never correlate the Bible and what the Lord is saying to us.
Right.
You understand? It's not by happen chance that he came out and called us African.
No. Come.
He knew exactly what he was doing and why he was doing it.
So like if you read think a paragraph a little bit below it says that term was coined back in like a couple years before that. And then they crafty counsel says, you know what? We're gonna run with that. Get at them. And he was the man to push it to the forefront. Okay. And I want to show you the spirit and the thing that's so heavy that you brought that out. Can you play that video? This is the spirit of Jesse Jackson, right? This is how you know he was at that table. Play the Jose Williams. This is what happened. This is what he did right after Dr. Martin Luther King passed away.
I started crying, and then I heard Jesse Jackson say,
I got God with me. You can have cousins, you can have.
I started crying, and then I heard Jesse Jackson say, he told me, Jesse, take our people onto the mountaintop. And that didn't bother me, even though I know Jesse got nowhere near him.
Oh, is it right now?
And then Jesse said,
So when Dr. King passed away, he got shot, right? Unalive. They all around the crime scene. Jesse tell him like Dr. King said, Pat, I want you to continue to move our people to the mountaintop, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mind you, Jesse Jackson wasn't around when Dr. King got shot. He was around, but he wasn't there when the incident went down. Continue reading, but he like, you know what? I mean, he he just saying stuff. You know what I'm saying? It ain't getting to me. You know what I'm saying? He's still distraught over Dr. King being passed away. Continue reading. I mean, playing.
I held his head in my hand while he died. And that didn't get to me. And then Jesse said, look at my shirt. And I looked around, sure enough, and Jesse Jackson's shirt was drenched in blood. And I realized the only way Jesse could have gotten that blood was stoop down on that floor at the Lorraine Motel and rake that blood off that floor and put that blood on him. And I went crazy. I really tried to kill Jesse. They grabbed us and all that, but that hurt me so bad. The other thing was, when Abernathy came back, says, no need of prayer, no need of crying, no need of nothing. He is going, it's over. He's going to glory. And we called the meeting, the staff meeting, and Jesse claimed to have been ill. And Abernathy told him, Jesse, go ahead to the room and relax. Jesse had to have run like hell that room into that airport because he got out of Memphis to Chicago. All us feeling, everybody was still in the motel, cut the televisions on the next morning. That was Jesse Jackson in Chicago with that same bloody shirt on, telling that same lie. I've never respected Jesse since that moment. I started crying.
Think about that. That's who we chose to follow behind. A man who created and lied. Said Dr. King said, move to the mountaintop. Man decided, you know what? I'm going to take the blood, I'm going to rub it on my shirt, make it seem like I was dead. Then I'm going to fly to Chicago. I'm going to sneak out while all my friends waiting in there in the meeting. I'm going to sneak out, and by 8 a.m. the next morning, I'm on TV screaming. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm the new one. I'm the new guy. Right? These is our leaders. That's who we chose to follow behind. And we're going to end this class with, can you play the ISUPK, brother? And this is what one of our brothers, right, asked Jesse Jackson, and you can see his remarks, right? And shout out to the brother for doing this when he met Jesse Jackson after the Fernando Castile shooting. We won't end with that.
UPK on YouTube. A lot of powerful information will be coming out. This stuff is coming right to you, baby, as soon as you subscribe. So make sure you handle that business and subscribe to your ISUPK.
The brother is going to ask Jesse Jackson, what should they do, right? When it comes to black people in our community and with the stuff, there's atrocities that's happening right now. And watch how Jesse answers them.
You already know he was coming and you showed up anyway. Your fellas around there was Yolanda would be so proud. I think Jamal would be so proud to know that their deaths are not in vain. That they have brought the people in Minnesota together to stand for freedom, justice, and equality, and we must continue to do so. Thank you all so much. Blessings to you. Please keep fighting, y'all. We need you. We need you. We need you. We need you. Thank you. God bless you.
My numbers. Okay, my number is 214.
You know why you can't hear him? You know why you can't hear him?
Got a number to give me?
He don't want to be heard.
Yeah, nobody got no sweat.
He don't want. See, when you come in front of a person that can see through all the lies, right, that you're gonna try to push. He knew he was gonna get challenged on the stuff he was gonna say. So that's why he said, hey, yo, let me get your number. And you know how you can tell that Jesse Jackson is just purposely talking so low? Because when he leaves, our brother is going to talk to the devil right next to him. And it's going to be so loud. And the devil not even loud.
But the reason why I wanted to ask you is because we're being murdered all over the country. And the thing about it is that it seems that at this point, Black Lives
When have you ever seen Jesse Jackson on the screen talking that low?
Right.
He don't never talk that low. He knew he was a real priest of the Most High. Like he gonna have to come correct. All that loving your oppressor, he was gonna get challenged on that. So he said, "Yo, let me get just let me get your number, and we could probably talk off screen."
125th on West New York. And you know we've been established since 1969. Bring a number or leave a number because you're gonna a minute. Hey, Spike. First of all, once I take it, this is all I gotta do. This is great right now.
Quietly by themselves. And so we have the opportunity for you to do anonymous grief counseling. We just want to make sure that you guys knew that was available. The information is out here. Sometimes
You can find the rest of this video on YouTube. Just put ISUBK, ask Jesse Jackson questions. So, and I want to say the wilder to all y'all who checked on social media and watched this class, man. Thumb up to this class, share. All right. And I'm gonna be passing the class off to Officer Matazaba. Officer 5000 Matazaba Moth. For the security announcers, Shalom, we are Israel. We are the ISUBK at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana, and we've been teaching blacks since 1969 that they are the real Jews, blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, that they are the real Jews of the Bible. And with that, Shalom, Baltimore.
Gonna give it up to Officer Gadar for an excellent class. You understand? These are the ISUBK security announcements. We're the ISUBK at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to another brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18, verse 21, and Malachi 3, verse 8 through 10, which means 10th in Hebrew, and it's pronounced Yashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations, we got Monday, March 2nd, and Tuesday, March 3rd. We got the Feast of Purim. We got Purim. That's a 2-day festival. You understand? If you're in Baltimore, 3430 Eastern Avenue, come on up. You understand? Break bread. What does you understand? And also, we got the 57th annual Lord's Passover in Houston, Texas this year. You understand? Start making arrangements. It's right around the corner. It's a $200 fee. Anybody 18 and older, go ahead and get your Passover fee. If you ain't got it, reach out, communicate. You see what I'm saying? Don't let that be the reason you're not down in Houston celebrating with the Lord's people, man. You understand? Remind Akim and Akwatun to check on social media such as ISUBK.com, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for so on for ISUBK events and material. If a brother wants to be a troop in the school, then he has to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. You understand? And with that, we're going to give a one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel. Ahmad Shabbat. Ahmad. Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahushua Brakatah. Yadi Matah. So we're going to give a one courtesy salute to the sisters online. Men of Israel. Ahmad Shabbat. Ahmad. Barak. Yahweh Shema Alatan Ba Shem Yahushua. Yadi Matah. Class dismissed.
We got black Latinos and Native Americans. When the Lord says that our kingdom is to come, as long as we follow the law, statutes, and commandments.
I got the camera bag, I'm the cameraman. If shit getting active, I'ma stand it down. We taking ground, call an ambulance. That shit go. Look. If shit go, look, you best get right, or you'll get, look, you got that, right, that shit go. If you got a problem, we'll handle it. Niggas acting hard, you better stand on it. We on every corner, we stamping it. You better get your life for this camp shit. We ain't playing around, there's no cowards, dog. If niggas charged up, you get powered off. Rude of speech, keep it raw. It ain't my fault that you niggas soft. It ain't my fault that these niggas frauds. Ain't my fault that them niggas rats. If your colors fly, you don't get that shit go. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. If shit go left, you best get right, or you'll get left. You got that right. That shit go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. If shit go left, you best get right, or you'll get left. You got that right. That shit go.
B-Raw, wanna go to war, gotta have it to the van. Tryna cut the semen, something you don't understand. Getting checked from my betterment, better take it like a man. Nigga, how you walk away for camp? If you willing to die, you better be willing to stand. Take a trip around the world, see a bunch of corners held by them UPK niggas. All them UPK niggas go to camp. And I'm on Shamar here hanging out the car. Wonder when I pull up straight to the battlefield. And I'ma make sure niggas make it back home. Say, nigga, what you thought? Well, anything moving, I be on. Gotta remind them, we nothing like them niggas that you saw. If you hear back up, that'll be your last time to get out the way. The price to pay before.
That shit go left.
Nah, for real though.
Left, right, left, right, left, right. If shit go left, you best get right, or you'll get left. You got that right. That shit go left.
Nah, for real though.
Left, right, left, right, left, right. If shit go left, you best get right, or you'll get left. You got that.
Y'all about to me off the top right top. Move that song. Move that song. Move that song. The father we fear. The father we fear. Yehovah. Yehovah. His word. His word. His word.
The ISUPK presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. You do not want to miss this one, Israel. Shalom.
And all the warriors be like,